Here with more is President Trump's attorney. He has done work for me also in the past, but he got a bigger client now. Good for him. Also, the chief counsel, American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulow.
Hey, Sean.
The president's right, Jay. The left in this country and the media have declared war on this president. But more importantly, it really is also against the smelly Walmart people like me and irredeemable deplorables and people that cling to God, guns, Bibles, and religion, because they don't like who we elected, and they want to undo an election in all of this.
Well, look, I mean, here's what happened. The Russia hoax ends up being nothing. When Bob Mueller did that attempted testimony, whatever that was, that got him zero. The report was nothing. The testimony was nothing. Then they come up with the Ukraine. Now, I want to read something in this so-called whistleblower I call spy. I don't know the person, obviously, by the way, but I mean, when you read what the individual wrote, it sounds like spying. But the one thing that is written, I was not a direct witness to most of the events described. So this is hearsay, in our view. By the way, if the witness actually said that in a court of law in the Middle District of Georgia, say, in Macon, they wouldn't be admitted into court. It's called hearsay. Now, here's an interesting fact. It's just coming to light right now. This person says they have no firsthand knowledge of this. They heard this from other people. The form that so-called whistleblowers fill out used to say this: in order to find an urgent concern credible, the Inspector General must be in possession of reliable, firsthand information. In other words, the Inspector General and the individual making the complaint, so that would be the firsthand information, has to have firsthand information. That was on the form, literally, until apparently very recently. Now, I don't know the exact date of the change, but it looks like it could have been changed as late as July or August. I don't have the exact date yet. But I will tell you this, months ago, no firsthand information, no report. So what is this? This is hearsay. Secondly, what about the hearsay? What the American people should be thinking about right now is we've got individuals inside of some agency that are listening to the president's conversations. They don't like them, so they want them out. So the White House, being fully transparent, released these transcripts. Now, let me tell you something. The transparency is great, but if you think this is good for America, that we're going through this, guess again. Foreign leaders will be hesitant. That's my concern. It's always been my concern here. Foreign leaders will be hesitant in engaging in phone conversations with this kind of nonsense going on. Now, let me take it a step further. Nancy Pelosi announces that she's going to start this formal impeachment inquiry, which, by the way, substantively was no different than what they've been doing for the last year or three. They did not refer this to the floor of the House for a vote.
Why not?
For articles to be referred to a committee, for the Judiciary Committee for articles of impeachment. She did that before she even read this report. So what do you have here? This is not a legal matter. I want people to understand this. I know my friend and colleague Rudy Giuliani is going to be on. This isn't a legal matter. This is pure politics. And whatever the political calculation is, which I think is a very desperate move, if they were to march down this path, I think it's political suicide for those that would do that. Because what a sign of desperation. Does anybody really believe that 14 seconds uttered in that statement, in the conversation, if you put all the references to Joe Biden and the Hunter Biden, which is 2, and that entire situation together, and you put in my colleague reference to Rudy Giuliani, that was raised, by the way, by the president of Ukraine, who first raised it, I think it may equal 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And a conversation that was, the transcript shows 30 minutes. I'm sure with translations probably, a third or less than that. But it's probably at least, 15 to 20 minutes. And that's going to be the articles of impeachment. Go ahead, vote, start the process, vote. Because this is bordering not only on the absurd, but I think there is a dereliction of constitutional duties if you ignore the Constitution itself. There's no high crime, no misdemeanor, no violation of a law, rule, or regulation. It's already been the Justice Department, when they looked at it, said there was no violation here. So I think this is just a political theater. That's what it is.
Jay Sekulow, thank you.